Hogs are here. They are ready to go against the band of the Cardinal. It's number 9, Washington, against the Stanford Cardinal here from Stanford Stadium. And as we take a look at the standings in the Pac-12, Washington controls its own destiny. And not just that, they basically control the fate of the Pac-12 for the college football playoff as well. And hello there, everybody. Justin Kutcher alongside Petros Papadakis and Coach Mark Helfrich. And guys, this game, it's kind of like a throwback game. We're going to have teams running the football. We're going to have teams huddling, and we're going to have some tough defense as well. So let's talk about the offense first. Not the quarterbacks. The running backs that we'll see.
What's a huddle? No question. Whoever gets the run game going first wins, because that opens up the play-action pass, which is where these teams are going to get it going in the passing game. For the Huskies, last year, Myles Gaskin was right on his average, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Him and his backfield mate, Levon Coleman, got to get things started to open up things for Jake Browning and Dante Pettis. You flip it over to Bryce Love, Mr. Electricity. Last year's game, 1 carry for 3 yards. Obviously, they were concerned with a guy named McCaffrey in the backfield. 30 carries for 29 yards was the stat line for Stanford on the ground last year, and that's not going to get it done if they're going to have a chance to win tonight.
As we look at this comparison of these 2 running backs and what they've done, the career for Myles Gaskin, about 100 yards per game. For Bryce Love this year has been phenomenal as the Stanford Cardinal take the field here at Stanford Stadium, looking for the upset here tonight. And Petros, let's talk about the other half, defense, and something that I don't think we've ever done before when talking about defense in an open. We're going to talk about the defensive tackles in this game.
2 interior guys. We'll start with Vita Vea from Washington. They haven't seen a guy like this up in Seattle since Steve Ettman. Coach saw a guy like this when he was coaching Haloti Ngata at Oregon. He does not move. You cannot move him, but his body moves forward. He does a great job with TFLs and being a gigantic NFL prospect. 6'4", 360. But look at this guy, Harrison Phillips. Horrible Harry. This guy is in the running for Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. Why? Because from over the center, he is leading his team in tackles, TFLs, and sacks. Unbelievable defensive line, impactful player.
69 tackles by a nose tackle. That's almost unheard of by Harrison Phillips. What's at stake? For more on that, let's check in with a 4th member of our crew, Jen Hale.
Well, Justin, right now, the number 9 Washington Huskies are outside the playoff picture, looking in, needing some help, and they just might get it this weekend. Tomorrow, 8 of the top 10 teams face off against ranked opponents, and 3 of those games are matchups between top 10 teams. So chaos could ensue in the polls. We could see a lot of separation between hopeful contenders. I just listened in on the Washington huddle. They are well aware they need to take care of business tonight in the national spotlight in order to be in position tomorrow when the dust settles.
It could be a chaotic weekend in college football as we take a look at Chris Peterson in his 4th year and David Shaw in his 7th year as the head coach of Stanford. 1 win shy of tying Pop Warner for the all-time record at Stanford. Washington won the toss. They have deferred. Tristan Vizcaino will kick off to Cameron Scarlett. And Scarlett will take a knee in the end zone. So Stanford will start at the 25-yard line. When Stanford has the ball, Petros, what are we watching for?
Well, we talked all about Bryce Love. You heard the guys in the studio talking about his Heisman chances. Well, he's got to love his fullback, Daniel Marks. They got away from having the fullback lead through in their power game last week at Washington State. They need this guy to lead block for Bryce Love. He'll get the ball a little bit, too. And what about Ben Burr-Kirby from right down the street, Sacred Heart Cathedral High School, a local boy leading the best defense in the West. This guy is a tackling machine, sideline to sideline and in the gaps. And it's made it so Asim Victor, one of the great players for Washington in the last few years, has had a hard time getting on the field.
And KJ Costello makes his 2nd straight start for the Cardinal. Bryce Love in the backfield on 1st down to the play action. The pass is over the middle, caught by J.J. Arcega right side for 12 yards. First down, K.J. Costello. Last week, he was in a competition for the starting position. This week, he got all the reps. What does that mean for him, Coach?
Confidence. Just more playing time, more confidence. A great opening call. Again, everybody's been talking all week about Bryce Love, the play action, rhythm, throwing game. I think something you're going to see from both teams early to loosen these defenses up.
On first down from the 37.
Showing pressure from the top.
Hand off to Bryce Love. Love looking for the hole, and there was Vita Vea. Picks up 4 yards. Greg Gaines combined with the tackle with Vita Vea.
And now it's different from we saw last week. The fullback leading through and Bryce Love following it.
Absolutely. And last week, way too many second and longs for Stanford. This is, again, where you can do anything in your playbook. 2nd and 6. Old school Stanford. It's another check run. You'll see K.J. Costello work at the line of scrimmage, get him in the ideal look. Now he's in the shotgun. Could be a strong side run, a weak side run based on Washington's alignment.
On 2nd and 6, the handoff is to Love. Love, not much room to work. Gets a yard. Vita Vea and Tevis Bartlett combine for the tackle.
Now, yards are not going to be easy, no matter how good Stanford is at running the ball or what their scheme is or the plays they're calling. This Washington defense is stingy. We're talking about the #1 defense in the country, and that means they have to be great on all levels for Chris Peterson. Up front, we talked about Vita Vea. They have great linebackers, Ben Burke-Kirby, and what about that back side? Taylor Rapp, JoJo McIntosh, these guys are solid.
3rd and 7, it's Daniel Marks in the backfield, the fullback. Picking up the pressure, Costello, he is pressured, he goes down. Gets sacked by Azim Victor.
Azim Victor, one of the most elite players in our conference over the last several years, is a backup right now at Washington. That says how good their offense is. He gets after A.T. Hall, the senior from Glendale, and that's a big 3rd down stop for Washington.
They had something up their sleeve with him, Azim Victor, rushing on the edge, and there's the record holder right there.
I would punt the ball into the Stanford band if I was David Shaw right here.
They're close to the returner.
Jake Bailey is punting to Pettis. And a fair catch is signaled and made at the 11-yard line. That's one way to make sure he does not get a return. Dante Pettis, a dangerous return man. He's not a bad wide receiver either. Jake Browning will lead this offense onto the field when we come back here in Stanford, California. No score, first quarter.
We are back on the farm, and when Washington, the 9th-ranked Huskies, take the field on offense, here's what we're looking for. Jake Browning, Dante Pettis have to create some balance for this offense. Look for a little Savon Ahmed with some fly sweep play action. And on the flip side, Justin Reed, this guy has been phenomenal. He's the communicator. You can see him doing it right there, leading a great Stanford defense.
Savon Ahmed is the tailback to start this one. Play action, Browning with plenty of time. Now pressured. And Browning dumps it off to Ahmed, who fumbles it out of bounds. And they're going to mark him out at the 23-yard line. An 11-yard pickup.
That's one of those things that Jake Browning can do in the pocket that people don't think he can. Move around and create.
He is, as Washington is going no huddle here. They didn't get the huddle memo, but that looked like another Seattle quarterback the other night. Russell Wilson kind of working something around and creating a play.
Hand off here on first down is to Ahmed. The true freshman out of Kirkland, Washington, picks up 4.
We start with the freshman for Washington, Myles Gaskin, now coming on the field. Now with all three of these backs. Yeah, Ahmed, Coleman, and Gaskin. You have these 3 guys. It's an embarrassment of riches in that backfield for Washington. The experience of Browning, and these backs are fabulous. There's Myles.
Yeah, they got Myles and Levon Coleman in the game right now.
And they'll hand off to Gaskin, trying to find a hole. Gets up to the 31-yard line. Dylan Jackson, Bobby Okereke combined for the stop, a pickup of 4 for Myles Gaskin. Enter this game 82 yards shy of 1,000 yards on the season. So, by the way, now it's 78-yard shot.
Yeah, Myles Gaskin is just a stud. You know, from the opposite sideline, I despise that guy. And it's just a ton of respect going his way. No, I still despise that.
You know, I'll tell you, it always seems like he puts it in the right place.
And he always moves forward. He never goes backward. He's just phenomenal.
3rd and 2. Gaskin gets hit once, bounces off of it, and picks up the first down. Is that why you despised him?
Exactly. If you're David Shaw right now, that's him, right? He runs through the arm tackle. That might have been, we'll see it here. He runs through the tackle of our man, Justin Reed, who we were keying. You can see just how physical he is. He moves forward and gets a vital 3rd down, 3rd and 3 converted.
And that was the right place to put the ball, even though Reed was in the hole. That's a safety coming up into the hole.
1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Browning to throw over the middle. It is complete to tight end, Will Deasley. And Disley, a former defensive lineman, gets tackled by Jordan Perez. And Jake Browning, who last year really came in and took this team by storm and took the country by storm. 75 touchdown passes. That ties the career mark with Keith Price. Next one, he'll set the record. But this year, he's not having to throw as much.
And he just wins. You know, we heard Matt Leinart talking about in the pregame. The guy is an absolute winner. He won in high school and has done a great job for Chris Peterson and the Dogs.
Swing it out to Aaron Fuller. Fuller down the sideline. And Fuller's out of bounds at the 45 of Stanford. Gets 11. Quentin Meeks and Frank Bunkum combine for the tackle.
If the Dogs can mix that in with their run game, they're going to have a lot of success in this game.
Exactly. Watch the perimeter just be physical with those guys. Get Fuller going. That's where Jake Browning makes great decisions.
Gaskin, he breaks one. As the Stanford defense wasn't set, Frank Bunkum with a tackle, but a 16-yard run for Gaskin.
Washington played a little fast, catching the Stanford defense off guard. That's not something that usually happens. They played Washington State last week. They should be ready for the speed.
Yeah, Stanford's one of those teams, they're smart guys. They want to take advantage of their intelligence, identify splits, alignments, all that stuff.
Browning to pass the far side to Dante Pettis, and Pettis is out of bounds. Let's see where they mark him down. It looks right at the 1st-yard marker, and they will give him the first down.
Dante Pettis does not have elite speed, but you can see him up top. Watch him sink his hips and appear to burst. And that's taking advantage of the matchup against the substitute, Alameen Murphy.
Now it's to Fuller, and Fuller gets tackled on the ankles by Justin Reed, and that just saved a touchdown, a 6-yard pickup.
We've seen a couple tackles like that on this drive as Washington plays really fast. This is a game about honest yards and sure tackling. There's not going to be a lot of broken tackles unless somebody gets tired.
Gaskin up the middle. Gaskin tackled just shy of the end zone. Inside the 1 by Frank Bunkum, his 4th tackle already.
1st and goal again. Watch his pad level as he bursts through there. Runs through the tackle of Alfieri. 1st and goal.
It's Gaskin again. This time gets hit by Harrison Phillips.
We talked about Harrison Phillips. There's a reason he leads this team in tackling. He just got his hands all over Myles Gaskin, and Myles wasn't going anywhere. Myles is trying to get out of the game, just a little bit tired right now. But once a guy like Harrison Phillips, a sure tackler like that, 6'4", 295, gets his hands on you, you're going down.
No question. That's what's so impressive. You talked about it in the league. 70 tackles now, right, with that one on the year. Those are unheard of numbers for a guy that big. Tremendous athlete.
2nd and goal. They'll toss to Gaskin. Gaskin trying to get to the edge. He does. Touchdown. 11th rushing touchdown of the year for Myles Gaskin. And Washington strikes first on the road.
Well, you see it on the top side here to the field. Just Gaskin to the field. It just turns into a foot race. Stanford fits it well inside, and just too much speed around the horde for Myles Gaskin.
Great block by
Braden Lennius there, leading the way.
Knocking out Justin Reed. He went flying.
Big start for the Huskies. Going tempo.
Tristan Vizcaino on for the extra point. 7-0. Huskies leading thanks to a drive when they rode the legs of Myles Gaskin, who takes it in from 2 yards out. The Huskies, the 9th-ranked team in the country, looking for a big road win tonight. was a great opening drive by the Huskies. They went with tempo, and the tempo paid off. Scarlett from the goal line. A dangerous return man gets bottled up at the 16-yard line. Can Stanford come up with an answer against this incredible defense of Washington? Love on the carry. And Bryce Love up to the 22 gets 6.
And that's something I want to see a little bit more from this Stanford offense. It's feast or famine. I mean, Bryce Love averages 10 yards a carry. Why? Because he has so many long runs. He's a home run hitter. But that, I think, early in the middle of the season, too, kind of lulled this Stanford offense into expecting that to happen.
Exactly.
And that can't be your offense down in and down out. They're a grinded-out personality offense. They need to do more of that.
Second down and 4. Handoff to Love, little collision there with Costello as pressure was coming off the edge. Taylor Rapp makes the tackle. Rapp was also the one coming off the edge.
Yeah, Costello expects Bryce Love on the other side. You can see how he opens up to his right. He checked what Stanford's doing. They check a lot weak side runs. They check them 2 strong side runs. So that's usually open side away from their tight end. That time he checked it to the tight end, and they just didn't communicate it to the back.
So that's on Bryce Love. He ran into that play.
It probably is. That's the one guy the quarterback sometimes forgets to tell on the check is the most important guy involved in the play.
And he's the furthest away from the sound.
Exactly. You're always going to side on the tailback side. That argument.
It's hard to hear back there.
3rd and 3. Love again. Bryce Love is able to get that first down. And then we have Caden Smith shove a player, JoJo McIntosh. No flag is thrown, so a first down here for Stanford.
A little smack talk from Stanford. Probably like a 4-syllable word.
I will say, we were talking with Eric Reed yesterday. I asked him a question, and I'm still not sure what he said. Cameron Scarlett's in. Costello taking a shot for Arcega. Right side, incomplete, going up against Austin Joyner.
This is a perfect example of why Washington is so good on defense. They never put their guys at risk. This is a bail situation where Austin Joyner is running to the Stanford end zone where they're trying to go, and it baits Costello. You can see how Joyner is over the top of the route. He has underneath help. He's in the better position than Arcega Whiteside. It looks like man coverage to the quarterback. Great disguise by Pete Kwiatkowski and the defensive staff.
Second and 10. Costello rolling out to his left. And now he's going to tuck it and run with it. And he dives forward to try to get a couple of extra yards. Taylor Rapp is there. He'll get 3 yards to set up 3rd down and 7.
This Washington defense is not messing around, but it seems like KJ Costello is getting Pete Kwiatkowski's guys a little bit off kilter, just a little. He's at least playing with more confidence, but there's Big Pete right there. What a defensive coordinator, and he doesn't want to jinx it. He knows these guys are playing the best brand of defense in the country on every level, but you can't get him to admit it right now.
Exactly. 11.1 points per game in modern football is just astounding.
3rd down and 7, play clock down to 2. Costello throws to Irwin at the line. Let's see where they mark him down.
It's going to be 4th down. Really good timing given by KJ Costello. They showed pressure and then bluffed out of it and only rushed 4. Trent Owens right at the sticks.
JoJo McIntosh makes the tackle.
What you call Petros?
They're going to kick it. And I would too. This is that type of game.
They're going big boy football.
They're gone. They're bringing in the whole crew. We did not see a lot of this last week.
They had one time and they ran play action off of it. And see if they go back to old
You see Pettis quickly had to get off the field. You got Cameron Scarlett in the backfield. A fumble on the snap. Costello picks it up. And it looks like Costello is able to get it and get the first down.
It'll be interesting to see if his knee was down. We saw him last week with the fumble Ruski against Washington State. He picked it up off the ground and scored. Did his knee go down as he grabbed it? They're going to confer. They'll probably take a look. No doubt he got the first down if his knee was off the ground.
The referee tonight is Land Clark.
The ruling on the field is the quarterback muffed the snap. Therefore, it is not a fourth down recovery. Result of the play is first down, Stanford.
And if he recovers it, it doesn't matter what down it is. If the fumbler recovers it. But let's take a look at this from the side. Only he can recover and advance. He's down. He is down. His right. Oh, maybe he did have possession. Did he have possession? We'll have to take a look at that. The ball may have been ruling around. The ball is not in his possession. No. Not in his possession. Wow.
That's the right knee. It's going to be really, really close.
By the way, if you converted twice on that type of a play, I have to think that was a design play by you and the Oregon Ducks back then.
Very, very much so. Yeah. Everybody always just give us a hard time about being in the shotgun, but nobody complains about them being under center.
Costello throws high. Nice catch and adjustment by Connor Weddington.
Nice job by KJ Costello again and David Shaw in the Stanford offense. A rhythm throw. Get your feet set. Get the ball out. There's not a lot of windows in this Washington secondary, but kind of the first mini break goes here to Stanford and a good confidence builder on that first down play.
They make you pay, don't they, when you make a catch. Connor Weddington, the very fast freshman out of Washington. Taylor Rapp and Ben Burke-Irvin put a licking on him.
That play went for 9 yards, setting up second down and 1. Costello with time, taking a shot down the sideline to Arcega Whiteside, and he comes down with it at the 2. J.J. Arcega Whiteside for 39 yards.
Well, we talked about it in the open. Run the ball, set up the play action. Here's a time in Washington's defense where you can get a one-on-one matchup, and that's Miles Bryant on Arcega Whiteside. Arcega Whiteside certainly redeems himself there by making a play, and there's nobody that throws that vertical ball more than Stanford. It doesn't matter if it's on the 1 yard line, the 3 yard line, or from the 40 in that case.
First and goal now from the 2. Bryce Love trying to get the push. And he'll be down at the 1. That will be the end of this first quarter. With Stanford right there knocking on the door. It'll be second and goal from the 1.
But don't go anywhere because it's 7-0. Washington leading. But the Cardinal have second and goal from the 1 when we come back to open up quarter number 2 here in Stanford. 7-0 to start the second quarter. Second and goal from the 1. 14th play of the drive coming up here for Stanford. Justin Kutcher, Petros Papadakis, Mark Helfrich, Jen Hale with you. Washington and Stanford. They'll hand off to Love. Love gets into the end zone for the touchdown. 13th rushing touchdown of the year for Bryce Love. And that is the first touchdown allowed by this vaunted Washington defense in over 79 minutes.
You can see the safety is removed. He's out of the screen up top, defending the fade of Arcega Whiteside. That leaves you one guy short to defend Bryce Love. Great answer if you're Stanford.
Just enough A.T. Hall did blocking for Love to get inside and duck into the end zone.
Jet Toner on for the extra point, just gets it off in time to tie this one up. 11th straight game with a touchdown for Bryce Love. That is the longest active in FBS. It's Pac-12 After Dark, all tied up at 7 between number 9 Washington and the Stanford Cardinal. Bryce Love with the touchdown. We talked about the running backs coming in. Both starting running backs with touchdowns so far. Jake Bailey will kick off here for Stanford. Savon Ahmed is back deep. Ahmed from a yard deep in the end zone. Ahmed gets tackled at the 12-yard line. A nice special teams tackle by Mustafa Branch. On first down, the handoff is to Gaskin. Breaks free of a tackle, and Gaskin gets tackled after a pickup of 11. Justin Reed finally brings him down.
So the theme we talked about, these running backs grinding it out, running the ball, Long drive. Stanford was able to do that with a 14-play drive. They're not used to that this year. Washington is.
Absolutely. Pound, set up the play action pass.
We talked with David Shaw. He said it was so important for his offense to keep Washington's defense on the field. Well, their offense did that. Now setting up a screen for Pettis, and it's read very well. Pettis slips the tackle. The tackle was there by Frank Bunkum, but he couldn't hold him, couldn't corral him. But Pettis got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, this is a modified punt return, right? You get the ball in your playmaker's hands on the perimeter. Great job by Frank Bunkum initially slowing him down. Alameen Murphy there to escort Pettis out of bounds. Washington not going tempo right here in a 2 tight end, 1 back personnel group.
Second down and 10. Levon Coleman on the carry. A big, heavy back at 235 pounds, likes to get downhill, and he gets 6 yards, setting up 3rd and 4.
With all due respect to Royce Freeman and some other guys in the conference, I really do think Levon Coleman is the most punishing runner in the Pac-12. He is a beast, and he's a great changeup for Gaskin. I mean, Gaskin's a good back and physical. This guy will explode you.
He likes to hurt you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's an angry runner. Both of those guys in the backfield right now is a great personnel group for Washington. Watch for just this motion out of the backfield. Maybe a 4-out route up top. There it is.
Browning. Flag is thrown. Another flag is thrown. Browning dancing around, keeping the play alive. Browning now throws on the run, has his man open, and it's Aaron Fuller. And we have to wait to see what these flags are for. Would be a completion of 32 yards.
Could be hands in the face. And that Washington O-line is celebrating. So he did watch Russell Wilson last night. He does a 720 and then a 1,080.
Hands to the face. Defense number 66. That 15-yard penalty will be added at the end of the play with an automatic first down.
That's where I'd love to be in the mind of Jake Browning, because I think right there you're going, man, it's holding, right? You see the flags at that point, but he kept the play alive. You can see the hands in the face right there by Big Harrison Phillips. Jake Browning breaks contain. Aaron Fuller was all by himself. If he stays on his feet, that's a touchdown.
Yeah, he could have turned it up and taken it to the house.
Single coverage up top.
That play ended up being 47 total yards for Washington. Coleman right up the middle, still on his feet. And Levon Coleman gets 11 yards.
We were talking about him from Lompoc, California. Same high school as guess who? The Lompoc Rocket, Napoleon Kaufman and his big arm.
It's Coleman again. And this time gets past the line of scrimmage. It's Eric Cotton and Jordan Perez combining for the tackle.
Stanford defensive coordinator Lance Anderson is going to be a lot happier about that play than he was the previous play. That was just bread and butter power football, power run game, pull the offside guard. And they gashed Stanford on the previous play. That's Stanford's base run play. Washington in unbalanced. All the receivers are over here to the bottom of the screen, to the right of the offense.
Hand off to Gaskin. Gaskin cuts it back. Gaskin, second touchdown of the game. 15-yard touchdown run for Myles Gaskin.
Man, is he slippery. And like you said, Coach, they had all the business there on the right side, and they bring the back to the left.
Exactly. Watch the pullers come back to the boundary. They're pulling the center and the backside tackle. Great scheme. They were in the unbalanced look. Stanford adjusted, and they're outnumbered with the pullers.
Tristan Vizcaino on for the extra point. We talked about the answer by the Cardinal. Well, the Huskies strike right back. We thought we were going to be talking about defense in this game. So far, it's offense, the running backs. Myles Gaskin with a couple of touchdowns, and his team leads 14-7 here in the second quarter. 14-7 Washington leading Stanford here in the second quarter. Myles Gaskin The first 2 drives, well, I'd say the Huskies offense has looked pretty good. They've had to go a long way, and they've converted both times thanks to touchdown runs by that young man, Myles Gaskin, who now has 12 rushing touchdowns on the year. He's looking for 3 straight 100-yard games. Tristan Fiscano will kick off. Cameron Scarlett awaits in the end zone, and he'll take it at the goal line. Scarlett has a hole. Scarlett gets tackled by Fiscano, the kicker. We saw it last week when he got tackled twice by the Washington State kicker.
He loves it. Loves getting tackled by the kicker.
Washington's rushed 5. Right here, they're rushing 3.
Costello stepping out. Arcega-Whiteside with the catch and gets upended, but a huge gain. 39 yards. Miles Bryant with a tackle.
And they're letting KJ Costello take a lot more shots in this game than they did last week when he started against Cougs.
Just watch him right down the seam. That's a perfect location by him, 2 yards outside the hash. That splits the corner there, Bryant and the free safety McIntosh, and a good spot by Costello to Arcega-Whiteside.
Second 39-yard pass of the game from KJ Costello to JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Washington still has not given up a play this year of 40 yards or more.
This is a guy right here managing his emotions. David Shaw frustrated off that non-call, composing himself well and calling a great conversion.
Trevor Spates gets back to the line of scrimmage. Second down and 10 coming up.
That's only his 20th carry of the year. There's Joyner, who's back in the game after hitting Connor Weddington. Good to see him back in after being shaken up. But seeing Trevor Spates in the game, you wonder about how available Bryce Love is, because usually it's Bryce Love or Cameron Scarlett. He's back in the game, but they might be trying to pace him so they can have him in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely.
They give it to Love. And Bryce Love up to the 38 gets 3. DJ Beavers with the tackle.
Great patience there by Beavers of settling his feet but still being aggressive on Bryce Love.
Bryce Love is not 100%. Hobbling off the field.
He's frustrated. He's trying to make it happen. He's trying to will himself through this game.
We talked to their sports medicine staff. Jen alluded to it, a guy that just did everything he could to be out here for his teammates, and nobody nationally, we want to see great players, and he's one of our best.
Costello rolling out to his right. Costello throwing back across the field to Irwin, who makes the catch and gets thrown to the ground. Wow!
Everybody held their breath if you're wearing Cardinal right there.
He's got a little gunslinger in him.
Yep, he's been watching Jake Browning, but great chemistry there by Trent Irwin to just find the sweet spot. Great eyes, great recognition there by Costello, and a lucky spot, or a fit, I guess, a perfect fit underneath of Taylor Rapp.
A 15-yard completion from Costello to Trent Irwin.
Little dirt on your face mask, little Jeff Spicoli long hair.
He's got that going on, and both these guys, Whiteside and Irwin, both juniors, they can go up and get it now.
Costello moving in the pocket to the end zone, Arcega-Whiteside, and that's broken up nicely by Miles Bryant.
He did a good job of getting inside. A great blitz pickup there by Trevor Spates.
This is what we expected. This is the 6'3" Arcega-Whiteside against the 5'8" Miles Bryant. And the sophomore from Pasadena battles. Great fit there by his right hand. Great camera work to see it batted away.
If it's low like that, it helps the shorter guy.
Absolutely.
Second down and 10. Handoff up the middle for Spates. And Spates will get a couple of yards, setting up third down and 8. Coming up on 2 minutes to go here in this first half, 14-7. Washington leading Stanford. Well, here we go. Third down and 8.
Watch for vertical routes by Stanford. They're going to try to split it down the middle. Most likely, they love doing that out of this formation.
Costello to the end zone. Arcega-Whiteside, the jump ball, and it's batted down. It looked like JoJo McIntosh and Miles Bryant were there on the coverage on Arcega-Whiteside.
It looked like Costello gave Whiteside a pretty good opportunity to go up and get that ball. Both defenders behind him.
He did much better than the last one. We saw Bryant knock away, gave him a high one where Arcega-Whiteside can get vertical. Bryant does a little bit of a hold job there with his right hand on the belt, but elevates with the left hand to knock it away.
Both hands on the ball.
This will be a 38-yard attempt by Jet Toner. And Toner's kick is good. So that defensive stop on 4th and really inches turns into 3 points here for the Cardinal. 14-10. David Shaw's team trails by 4 to Chris Peterson's 9th-ranked Washington Huskies here on the farm. Right now, let's get you to LA. Here's Rob Stone and the guys. Back here on the farm at Stanford, it's 14-10. The Huskies leading Stanford as we get set to start the 3rd quarter. Justin Kutcher alongside Petros Papadakis and Mark Helfrich. And guys, we came on the air here tonight talking about the running backs in this ball game that we would see. And we're going to talk about the running backs right now. One for a good reason, one for a not so good reason, unfortunately. Let's start with the good thing first.
Yeah, Myles Gaskin was phenomenal. 12 carries, 87 yards, and 2 touchdowns on only 4 Washington first-half possessions. What both teams really have done is set up the run game enough to keep both defenses off balance. And it's going to be an execution game, and special teams are going to be a big factor in the second half.
Unfortunately for Stanford, Petros, Bryce Love started off well, but then...
Yeah, he looked a little bit more like himself. The electricity was in his legs, but that ankle is bothering him again. He limped off more than once, has kept trying to force himself through this game, but he is not himself, and that takes a lot away from the Stanford offense.
And here are the numbers for Stanford. The rush yards just 66. However, KJ Costello has picked it up in the passing game, so 202 total yards. Washington to receive the opening kickoff here in the second half, and that will be a touchback. 10 of 12 for 120 yards. Still looking for that 1 touchdown pass to become the University of Washington all-time leading touchdown passer. On first down, it's Myles Gaskin. Gaskin trying to get around the edge. He cannot. Casey Tuhill, good pursuit.
Really good urgency by the Stanford defense right there to start the second half. They've got to stop the run. 7.8 yards per play in the first half from Washington. We mentioned they only had 4 drives, but very efficient.
On second down, Browning on the slant. It's incomplete, intended for Aaron Fuller. Let's go down and check in with Jen Hill.
Well, Justin, Bryce Love had anything but a break at halftime. He spent that period getting rehab on the ankle and having it retaped. He's going to try to make it a go. Now, Coach David Shaw tells me he will spell him and try to keep him ready to go for the 4th quarter. He says he's got to be smart for Bryce because Bryce will play even if he's hurt, and he doesn't want to play through something he shouldn't. Also, Connor Weddington will not return after that injury in the first half, Justin.
All right, thank you very much, Jen. As it's 3rd and 11 here for the Huskies. Browning stepping up, throwing, and completes the pass to his tight end, Drew Sample, who gets tackled, wrapped up by Alameen Murphy, and that's going to be a 3-and-out to force by the Stanford defense to open up this quarter.
I'm more and more impressed with the tackling ability of Alameen Murphy the more he plays as a starter for the Cardinal here.
Yep, they're trying to pick on him in 2 big-time tackles. One a pass breakup, one getting Disley on the ground here on 3rd down on the shallow route. The previous play, Malik Antoine broke up a run pass option. Good spot by Jake Browning. A better play by Malik Antoine.
Joe Whitford on to punt for the 2nd time. Jay Tyler is back, makes the fair catch signal, and makes the catch at the 35-yard line.
Costello just lofting one up for his tall tight end, Colby Parkinson. And I say tall because he's 6'7". That's a first down.
Absolutely, just a nice spot there by KJ Costello. They worked this route a million times in pregame, even more yesterday. Watch the loft he puts on this to get it over the underneath defender. And then obviously Joyner slips there a little bit, but he's not going to defend that on the 6'7" kid out of Simi Valley.
And he had to stretch to get it as well.
Bryce Love back in on first down. They give to him. He slips, gets back up. And Bryce Love is going to lose a yard, tackled by Keyshawn Bierria.
You know, I go back watching that play to something that we heard Jen say when she was talking about Bryce Love coming in to start the third quarter. Coach Shaw's got to protect this guy.
Absolutely.
He's not right. His legs don't look right. He wants to play. He wants to be there for his teammates. But at a certain point, you have to think about next week. You have to think about the rest of the season. You have to think about the young man's health. And that's what Coach is trying to balance right now. And believe me, he's trying his best. This guy wants to play.
It's Love. Love. Look at him go. Just like that. No face mask. The entire Stanford sideline. Here comes the
horse collar or face
Ezekiel
mask.
Turner. He goes for 21, does Bryce Love.
And Coach Shaw and this sideline will erupt if they wave this off.
There's no foul on the play for a face mask.
Let's see where he grabbed him. If he grabbed the front of his jersey, that's kind of why Bryce Love, it seemed kind of bent back.
Yeah, look,
front of the jersey.
Yeah, the front of the jersey's clean. That's not horse collar.
Yeah, front of the jersey, front of the
Kind
shoulder.
of throws the head like he's drawing the charge there as he goes out of bounds.
Little Kemba Walker move.
But the one thing for sure is 75% Bryce Love is a lot better than a lot of backs.
That's the best he's looked all day.
Costello, handoff to Bryce Love. Love splits it. Love to the end zone, touchdown. 75% of Bryce Love is bigger than a whole lot of backs. He gets it in from 13.
That's the second time they've been in that formation, and Washington is so concerned with that goal line fade. They had two guys on Arcega-Whiteside. The first time they have two guys on Arcega-Whiteside. You can see the safety out of the picture. That guy should be in a goal line run type fit right there. And he's late to the party. Bryce Love says, hey, I'm all right.
He stepped out of two tackles there. I mean, he was having trouble stepping out of tackles a little earlier. Keyshawn Bierria, one of those.
Impressive.
Jet Toner on for the extra point. First lead of the game for Stanford tonight. On third down, Vita Vea looked like he had the sack. Instead, he got called for a face mask. What happens next? Bryce Love takes the handoff, and he does the rest. Gives the Cardinal the lead on number 9 Washington here in the third quarter in Stanford. The Stanford band is now smiling as they have a 3-point lead over number 9 Washington with 9:15 to go. The two running backs we highlighted, they're working tonight.
And it's great to see Bryce Love back in the game and playing well. Unbelievable will from this young man, and we've seen a lot of great running from Myles Gaskin as well.
Jake Bailey to Savon Ahmed, and Ahmed is not going anywhere. On first down, the handoff is to Gaskin. Gaskin, the patient runner, just waiting for a hole to develop, and he picks up 4.
Yeah, great first down fit and press by Gaskin there. Really untouched until he got to 5 yards. Good start to the drive for Washington. Pete Kwiatkowski, the defensive staff, they're getting after those guys on the sideline, talking about that differential, talking about their points per game. And if you're an offensive player at Washington, this is where you could harness things and take it over.
Gaskin again. Gaskin breaks through the hole. And he gets tackled as he crosses the 45 up to the 47 by Frank Bunkum, who's got 8 tackles on the night.
You brought it up. He's a patient runner. That time he saw it right away and burst into the hole, and Washington's going fast.
They hand off to him again. Why not? He just picked up 18. And now
Miles Gaskin gets 5 on first down.
Yep. 4-yard gain, 18-yard gain, 5-yard gain. That play, the previous play, the unbalanced counter play that they ran, same play that he scored on earlier. Washington getting a little rhythm going here, going fast.
3 straight weeks, 100+ yards for Gaskin. Browning taking the shot down the field. Incomplete for Dante Pettis. Alameen Murphy there on the coverage. I wonder if Pettis got away with that pass interference.
Looked like it. Jake Browning taking a shot to his guy, right? They believe in that he is their playmaker right now. Alameen Murphy, the corner, again, in for the injured Elijah Holder. Frank Buncombe, number 5, there over the top, trying to help him out.
Both hands on him. That was a good play by Pettis. There's
So
no doubt about
incidental
it.
contact if you're an offensive guy.
The longer you play and the more experience you have, and Alameen Murphy's finding it as a starter. But the more experience you have, the more tricks you can learn, and that's one of them.
Exactly, and you get away with him. Watch for a double move on Murphy at some point.
Browning, great pass protection. Scrambling. Browning on the run, throws low, incomplete for Aaron Fuller, and the Stanford defense once again does the job.
Absolutely great job here. Alameen Murphy, watch on that route. Dante Pettis, he took him to the sideline. He was on the bench. He was the primary receiver here for Jake Browning up top. Watch where he ends up. 100% legal in college football. He's out of the play. Big 3rd down stop. They're going for it on 4th. Potential Jake Browning punt.
Levon Coleman is in, and now Browning's going to back up. High snap, and he's going to punt it.
Quick kick.
And a good one. Takes the Washington roll, and this will be down at the 5-yard line.
You love the quick kick, don't you, Coach?
A 42-yard punt by the quarterback, Jake Browning. It's Pac-12 after dark. It's a good one here on the farm. 3-point lead for the home team, the Stanford Cardinal over number 9 Washington. Costello goes to Arcega-Whiteside, breaks the tackle. Arcega-Whiteside across the 35, tackled at the 38 by Ezekiel Turner, a 26-yard pickup.
That just says so much about David Shaw's confidence in the scheme. Watch the play action fake to Bryce Love. That makes everybody tight into the box. Opens it up for Arcega-Whiteside. Then he's surprised that he's in open field. Avoids JoJo McIntosh and gives a few yards after. There's some yak for you, Petros.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of that from these Stanford receivers. They're getting it all going here in the 3rd quarter. Bryce Love's ankle's better. The receivers are running all over the place.
Here's Love. Bounces off the tackle. And Bryce Love is starting to look like Bryce Love again right now.
The exact opposite of what we saw at Washington State. It looked like he wore down a little weak side ISO behind that fullback. Right here, Vita Vea in the backfield but can't make the play. And here's Bryce Love taking shot after shot. Takes 3 guys there to get him down, setting up 2nd and 3.
Almost lost the ball on that one and broke the tackle of JoJo McIntosh, one of the better tacklers in the conference. He's back, and he didn't look good to start the quarter.
Trevor Spates is in to spell Bryce Love. They give it to Spates. And Spates runs in to that huge line. Greg Gaines is the first one there. He'll get a yard. So 3rd and short is coming up.
We've seen so many great defensive linemen here the last couple weeks. Hercules Mataafa.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Harrison Phillips gets a ton of credit. Greg Gaines is the one guy kind of lost in all this shuffle. Vita Vea, so much talk. That guy is an absolute stud. And it's almost like he said, hey, I've seen enough.
3rd and 2. They just converted on 3rd and 3. Costello. Arcega-Whiteside again, and Arcega-Whiteside has the catch at the 40 for 14. Arcega-Whiteside is over 100 yards for the 4th time in his career.
He found a real spot here and showed Costello the numbers.
No question, and again, I'm giving a ton of credit to David Shaw right here. He took a lot of took it very hard last week of saying that he didn't put his guys in the best position. Again, everybody in the world thinks Stanford's going to run the ball right there. He goes with the play action pass, and they convert.
Bryce Love takes the handoff. Love up to the 37. With more on Bryce Love, let's go down to Jen Hale.
Well, Justin, no one is happier for Love's success right now than his offensive line. They took it personally last year when another great Cardinal running back did not win the Heisman, Christian McCaffrey, and they've had conversations. They want it to be different this year with Love. This is a very close-knit group. They go to dinner, and Love accompanies them once a week. They are cheering for him, especially with the gutty, gritty performance he's giving tonight on that injured ankle.
Yeah, those teammates know how much he's put into the treatment, the therapy, all the struggles he's got over the last 3 weeks. Nobody more so than those 5 guys up front.
On second and 7, excuse me. It's Love again. They'll get a yard.
And if there's one thing Stanford knows about, it's second place in the Heisman. It's happened to almost all of these guys, and you can make a great argument for Toby Gerhardt. You can make a great argument for Andrew Luck, second place. But Christian McCaffrey, if he couldn't win the Heisman off of the year he had a couple years back, then you just can't win the Heisman at Stanford. Honestly, I don't think anybody's going to ever have a year like that as a running back ever again with all the different things he's doing. But Bryce Love is putting on a performance tonight that's going to get a lot of people's attention.
Big third down here, right? Stanford runs this quarter out if they convert.
Handoff is to Love. Love hits the hole. Love has that first down inside the 20 at the 19. Elijah Molden with the stop. A 17-yard run for the Heisman candidate for the Cardinal.
Stanford's just taking a look at this edge over here. The wide field guy you can't even see him in the screen. Working out to him is Parkinson, and Bryce Love does the rest. A huge third down conversion for Stanford. The clock's running. They're in the red zone in business.
That puts Love over 100 yards for the game. He had 9 straight 100-yard games prior to last week. Takes the handoff here, trying to get outside, cuts it back. And he'll dive forward, will get a yard.
That was a heck of a play call on this third down by David Shaw. They moved to a shotgun. You start to think they're going to throw the ball and bring Bryce Love back around. And Keyshawn Bierria got hooked.
Yep.
What a heck of a run. And Bryce Love is getting stronger as the game goes on. And that was the opposite of what the situation was against Washington State. Maybe it's the weather, maybe it's being at home, maybe it's all the rehab that we heard Jen talking about. But he looks stronger and stronger in this game, and that's been better and better for the Cardinals.
Second down and 8. Cameron Scarlett. Costello tip ball, it's caught by Marks. A good job adjusting by Daniel Marks, gets 4 yards.
He gets 1 or 2 a game, Coach.
Exactly. You got to reward him, man. That guy does a lot of dirty work. Miles Bryant kind of involved in the targeting controversy here. I think he goes very, very smart by going low here on Marks.
That was Tevis Bartlett.
With the tip.
Yeah, nice deflection, but good concentration also by Mark.
They'll have to run one more play, as there's about a 6-second difference between the play clock and the game clock.
And what a drive that started from inside the 5. Unbalanced.
Costello throws up high, incomplete for Caden Smith.
David Shaw unhappy probably with both the decision and the fact there's no roughing the passer call here. Costello took a shot. He's talking with KJ Costello, saying, hey, man, throw that away a little bit more. 3 Washington defenders match the play action here beautifully. Nothing there for KJ Costello. David Shaw wants to see that ball thrown in about row 4.
The play action doesn't have the effect that it does when Bryce Love is in the backfield as opposed to Cameron Scarlett or any of the other back.
A 32-yard attempt for Jet Toner. Hit from 38 earlier. Toner able to bend this one in like a nice little draw. 1 second to go here in this third quarter.
Those points feel big right now against an ineffective Washington offense. They've got to put something together to start the fourth quarter.
Jake Bailey to kick off. Savon Ahmed. This will go through the end zone. We still have 1 second left in this quarter.
There's Ahmed in motion again.
They'll hand off up the middle to Levon Coleman. And Coleman gets 11 yards on that run. The Cardinal erupts here in this third quarter to take the lead. Last week they had the lead at the end of 3, but lost against Washington State for the first time in 45 games. Can they hang on against number 9 Washington? Pac-12 after dark. That third quarter belonged to Stanford, outscoring number 9 Washington 10-0. They had a streak of 45 straight games when leading after 3 quarters, snapped last week at Washington State. Gaskin takes the handoff, fumbles. Stanford saying they have it, and they do. Stanford recovers.
That is a rare fumble by a great running back, and what a job the Stanford defense has done.
No question, looked like Dylan Jackson came up with it. Again, running this counter play, they've had a ton of success with it. Okereke slips back in. Perez may have got a hand in there.
I think Okereke got it. Yeah, he was on the ground and he put his hand up. Check that out.
Swipes it out.
Wow.
Had a pick 6 last week, and now a huge turn of events gets Dylan Jackson over the top of it, fighting Phillips for it. Sets him up. 1st and 10 on the Washington 31.
You know, you hear a lot about the Stanford linebackers, how they're not playing that great this year, but Okereke with a pick 6 last week forces a fumble here. This guy's out there making plays.
There's something about that number 20 here at Stanford.
And number 20 is in at tailback, Bryce Love. Love, 24 carries, 109 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Watch a weak side run again to the right. There it is.
Nothing weak about the tackle. Running into Vita Vea and Benning Potai. He got a yard, 2nd down and 9.
Gotta stand up and at least force him to kick a field goal right here if you're a Washington fan or anybody on that sideline.
But you know what? We talked about this in the open. It's not just Washington. You can make the case if you're a Pac-12 fan. Because if you want to make the college football playoff for a school out of the Pac-12 conference, it's riding on Washington.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Pac-12 revenue, you're on that side, no question.
Don't tell that to the tree.
Second and 9.
3-man rush.
Costello to Irwin. And Irwin diving ahead, gets the 1st down up to the 20. DJ Beavers there with a tackle.
They've run this play a ton. Irwin runs a little, they've got a little clearing route inside. Irwin runs basically a little slant. Costello identifies it. He's got to fit that ball right there inside of Perez while he can get vertical. So there's a vertical clear. There's the settle inside. Perfect timing. And then Irwin did a great job of avoiding Perez and getting vertical.
Red zone opportunity once again for the Cardinal. Love. Bryce Love gets hit by Tevis Bartlett, but able to pick up a couple yards. 2nd down and 8 from the 18.
Tevis Bartlett, a stud, a kid out of Wyoming. We tried to recruit him as Oregon, and an absolute stud.
Did you fly out to Wyoming for him?
Didn't get the opportunity. That was not welcome.
So you know then that he was both an incredible quarterback and a DB.
Absolutely.
Probably a Cowboy.
2nd down and 8. Costello taking a shot to the end zone. Arcega Whiteside. Incomplete. It was underthrown, and there was Ezekiel Turner on the coverage.
Well, you said it, Justin. It was underthrown. They had their man, had it set up perfectly. Kind of gave him a little shimmy. Here's Arcega Whiteside. They've got the matchup they want on Turner. And KJ's kicking himself right there. Got to throw that on the back pylon. He was fading away just a little bit.
Turner never got his head around it.
Forces it to be underthrown.
That's all it was.
You know what's amazing? 9 of the 13 passing touchdowns by Stanford this year have come in the red zone, have been on jump balls to either Arcega Whiteside or Colby Parkinson. They were trying for one there. It's Bryce Love here on the carry. And Coach, you said this Washington defense had to come up with a stop to force a field goal. That's what they've done.
Huge stop. When's the last time Washington had the ball right? They had about a two-play drive for no time. Stanford's had the ball the entire second half. They had to stop the bleeding right there. Big stop here for Coach Pete Kwiatkowski, defensive coordinator.
And look how much momentum that Stanford defense has built in the meantime.
It's going to be a 31-yard field goal attempt for Jet Toner. He's 2 for 2 from 38 and 32. And he's 3 for 3.
Makes it a 2-score game. That's a big time execution.
The Stanford Cardinal leading by 9 here at home against number 9, Washington. The Washington Huskies cheer team is looking for something to cheer about right now because they've given up 16 unanswered to Stanford as the Cardinal lead by 9 here in the fourth quarter.
Potentially a big drive here for Washington. They haven't really won a game on offense, and that's something that can really bind your team together. Get that stop right there, force the field goal, drive down and make this a game, but they haven't done that so far in the second half.
Jake Bailey, once again, doing a great job, not allowing a return by Savon Ahmed. The Huskies right now in a dogfight, trailing 23-14 with 11:45 to go. And the Huskies have 4 straight losses here at Stanford, including 3 as a ranked team. Stanford has 4 straight home wins against top 10 teams. That is tied for the longest streak with Alabama and Georgia. Levon Coleman starting in the backfield here, takes the handoff on first down, and Coleman gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage by Bobby Okereke, who just forced the fumble on the previous possession.
He did a good job of going and stopping Coleman. I'd like to see more of Coleman in this game. Maybe it's too late for him to physically take something out of this Stanford defense in the fourth quarter, but they have to do something. Washington has had 1 first down in their last 4 possessions. Since that 4th down stop by Stanford, they've done nothing almost offensively.
This has been all counter, and Stanford knows it.
The first man to make contact. You got it. Horrible Harry.
They've run the counter 4 times out of that formation. That's the only thing they've done. And watch Horrible Harry do some work. He gets in the hip pocket of the guard who's trying to block him. Gets Coleman down, sets up 3rd and 12.
He just shed Andrew Kirkland, who's 6'4", 320, like he was Bryce Love. He just moved him off of him and made that play on a really physical back.
On 3rd and long, Browning rolling out to his right, pressured. Okereke brings him down inside the 5.
Wow, they had the drag route. They had Fuller on the drag route coming across the field, but Bobby Okereke, all credit to him. He's not letting Jake Browning outside. He's not letting him see backside. You'll see the drag come from this side. It's Fuller. Okereke keeping contained.
Look at that. Look at the Eagle scout just closing in on Jake Browning, and he's seen that move a bunch of times. And there's the drag route, Coach.
Yeah, it's wide open. Fuller's wondering why he doesn't get the ball, but Jake Browning's got his hands full.
It's a loss of 18 on the sack. Whitford from his own end zone. It's Trenton Irwin making a man miss. Irwin. And a flag comes in as Irwin takes it up to the 28 of Washington. Bryce Love in the backfield.
It'll be a strong side run.
Love. Inside the 10, down to the 9, picked up 5. Greg Gaines with a tackle.
Love is getting stronger. He feels it, does not follow the fullback off tackle, takes it up into the gut.
Yep, Costello's just looking at the front. They have an extra defender there. They send Bryce Love strong. He cuts it back. Solid first down gain.
Bryce Love averaging 4.4 yards per carry. They've given him the ball 28 times tonight.
So much for spelling it.
Takes the handoff, the 29th time. Touchdown, Bryce Love, third of the game. This time from 9 yards out, and that may have sealed it for the Cardinal.
What a great run by Bryce Love. And here's a guy who limped off the field more than once in the first half and came out looking terrible to start the third quarter. And since then, he has been great. Good job sealing off by Marks. Great gains, block. Trent Irwin out there.
After the big punt return, helps this guy with a little love tap there to the end zone.
Just a bit of a grab.
So impressive right there by Stanford.
Toner's extra point. 30-14. Everybody except for Stanford fans stunned here at Stanford Stadium. Maybe even the Stanford fans are stunned. 30-14. Bryce Love has 3 touchdowns on the night. The last time a Washington opponent had 3 rushing touchdowns. Royce Freeman. Coach, you know him?
Heard of him? Heard of him?
Yeah, he had 4 on October 18th of 2014 for the Ducks against the Huskies. 23 unanswered by the Cardinal. Once again, a touchback by Jake Bailey.
What does Browning have going for him? You see their possessions and what has happened in the last 6 drives.
Nothing has happened the last 6 drives. A high throw here is hauled in by Dante Pettis, and that's their best play we've seen in what seems like a day and a half.
Big time answer right there by Jake Browning. That was his fault on that previous play. Okereke had contained. He's got to throw it away. And here he throws it high and outside to Pettis. A great little corner route. He goes up and gets it. Puts him in business. You got to talk on your sideline here if you're Washington. It is still a 2-score game. 2 two-point conversions. They got to stay in this.
At the 41, the handoff is to Coleman. Coleman looking like he's going to lose some yards. Diving forward, he will lose 3 yards back to the 44-yard line. It could have been even worse for the Huskies there.
Yeah, Eric Cotton blew it up inside, number 80 there for the Cardinal.
Former tight end, 6'6", 275. They just grow tight ends at Stanford.
They grow them big on the farm. Colby Fleener, Zach Ertz, about all those guys who played here in recent history.
Browning. Trying to be like Russell Wilson again. And this time he will throw it away, but a flag comes in.
Might be a hold late.
Holding. Defense number 4. A 10-yard penalty. An automatic first down.
That's against Alameen Murphy.
Again, that's not the end of the world. You'll battle through that. If you're, Dwayne Aquino, one of the most experienced defensive back coaches in the country, was at Texas forever, an excellent coach. Getting after Alameen Murphy a little bit, but at the same time, you're happy you put pressure on Jake Browning. Make him earn it.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Pressure coming, Browning over the middle. Completes the pass to Aaron Fuller.
And if you're Stanford again, you'll let him do that all day long.
That's a 3-yard pickup exactly, because that takes more time off the clock as well. Browning. Ty Jones kept in bounds by Alameen Murphy.
Myles Gaskin did a great job there stepping up and protecting for Jake Browning. Got a late pressure.
He's not a big guy, but man, is he good at picking up blitz? Yeah.
He's physical.
Good pass here. Apparently, that was just a little decoy by Pettis. I wasn't really hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's again, though, Pettis has to trust that screen, trust the tunnel that was developed, run through that towards the inside in the middle of the field.
It's a hard thing to do to keep coming on that, but that's exactly what needed to happen there.
Second down rush again. Browning dumps it off to Coleman, has some green to work with. Coleman lowers the shoulder, and Coleman is going to be marked down at the 2-yard line. Coleman delivered a blow. You said he's a punishing back.
Watch, Coleman delivers the blow, runs through it.
Man, is he a tough back. You saw him step out of bounds there, so it's a very good spot. But this guy usually very physical inside the box. They get him involved in the passing game outside. What a job by Jake Browning, coming all the way back to his back. Yeah, he worked his whole progression across the field and found Coleman on the backside.
First and goal from the 2 for the Huskies.
5:10 left. You're talking 2-point play on the sideline if you're Washington here.
Levon Coleman in with a fullback, Justice Warren, who's also a linebacker. It's Coleman, and Coleman slips trying to bounce it back inside.
Quentin Meeks, man, is that impressive. The junior corner. These guys have played a run or two as a member of the Stanford secondary. Watch him fit this run. Takes on the physical edge there of Washington and gets a physical back on the ground.
Justice Warren, it looked like he got a pretty good piece of him, and Coleman slipped, which helped the play.
Now Myles Gaskin is in at tailback. They give it to him. Gaskin. Looks like he slipped a bit. Dives for the pylon. Touchdown. Gaskin gets in yet again. Third touchdown of the game for Myles Gaskin. And now the Huskies have to go for 2.
Unbelievable effort play here by Gaskin. They do set the edge legally this time on Hill.
And Alameen Murphy almost blew that whole thing up, flying in and trying to take out the legs of Justice Warren, but a great job by Myles Gaskin. Kept coming to the outside, trusted his speed, and then dove for the pylon. That's a lot of touchdowns, guys.
I think it's 74.
Going to a two-point conversion. Browning. Pressure coming, gets rid of it to the end zone, touchdown. Caught the 2-point conversion by Dante Pettis.
Now you have 2-point plays that you run in practice, and that was one of them for you, Doug.
Yep, you've got a million ways to kind of go to the same thing. You want confidence in the scheme from the perimeter guys and your quarterback. You're going to see the shallow here. Pettis is going to go back and find this void in the back of the end zone. Great scheme, great execution by Washington.
And Browning just got that ball off because there was pressure coming off the edge.
Stood in there and got rid of it. Jake Browning had a very good drive, good patience by Washington, like you said.
Tristan Vizcaino to kick off. Cameron Scarlett is the only man back. Scarlett from the 5. And Scarlett gets hit at the 17-yard line. Love takes that toss. Love gets outside. Here goes Love down the sideline across the 50. Just when you think the guy can't do it, the flag comes out late again. And Bryce Love, bad ankle and all, and he comes up hobbling again. 35-yard run.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 24.
Watch Nick Wilson, number 54 there, the offensive lineman in motion. It's an offensive lineman's dream. He gets it started, makes the defense get out leveraged by his leverage there, and a great bounce by Bryce Love. And a late hit, high tackle, no question. Rips his helmet off.
Yeah, that's Ezekiel
right
Turner.
By Turner.
And that's Bryce Love hobbling off the field. You saw his ankle get a little tweak there again, but he has given everything he has to this Stanford team.
A handoff to Spates. Bryce Love, 166 yards on the ground on 30 carries. Costello under center. Keeping on the ground with Spates. And Spates gets dragged down by Vita Vea.
It'll be another
This is a timeout here taken by Washington. Stopping the clock at 3:27 with third down coming up. It's 3rd and 6. It's Spates. And Spates Gets tackled there, trying to rip the ball free to create the turnover. And now you got to be careful if you're Washington. Don't pick up a penalty right now.
Or Stanford ripping your guy off the pile. That's also a personal foul. Spates now in here doing the dirty work. Does a good job initially pressing it. Keyshawn Pierre has made a ton of plays. They're trying to rip the ball out as he goes down.
Elijah Molden was trying to rip that ball free.
No question, he's done a great job with the timeouts there by Chris Peterson. They ran 3 plays.
And Jet Toner right now with a chance.
Sounds like an office supply.
Yeah, he really does. I thought I was the only one that thought about the printer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he makes one here from 47. He might be able to print something in the books.
Print some flyers.
Looked like the left tackle jumped.
It is no good.
He's going to wish they called it right there.
It was short. It was right. His first miss of the game. And so now the hopes of Washington and the hopes of the Pac-12 are still alive.
Looked like, I think it was just before that, but it looked like he flinched. The Washington sideline reacted, the front reacted. That's when Stanford almost wishes he called. He's pushed it.
All right, guys, here we go. David Shaw looking on again, 1 win, and he ties Pop Warner for the Stanford all-time record.
1 timeout for each side here. They're working
Browning to the sideline, incomplete. Looking for Andre Bocelli. And there on the coverage was Quentin Meeks.
Yeah, Quentin Meeks is their best corner right now without Elijah Holder.
He's playing a heck of a game.
He really has.
They don't
Physically
go
as
after him
well.
very much. Yeah, these guys come up and close and make a lot of tackles. Big moment for Browning here.
Browning in trouble. Throws, and it is caught by Will Dissly. And Dissly is going to pick up 8 yards.
If you're a young receiver, take that 1 step back to the ball right there. If Dissly doesn't step back to the ball, it's knocked away. Great job by Browning getting something out of absolutely nothing right there.
3rd down and 12. Confusion here for Washington with the clock running. Pressure coming. Browning goes down. Sacked by Okereke again. 2nd of the night. And a timeout taken by Washington.
Okereke has had the game of his life.
He really has. He's been on fire the last 3 weeks. Smart timeout here by Chris Peterson. You'll see the pressure. You'll see the looper. Here's Okereke, 20. As it starts, he loops around. Miles Gaskin does a great job of picking up the stunt.
Nick Harris left him. The right guard just left Okereke. He had him blocked, and then he decides to try to pick somebody else up. And Okereke just says, "Thank you. Thanks for leaving me alone. I'm going to go sack the quarterback."
Trust your assignment. Smart timeout there by Chris Peterson. You don't want to call a timeout with 1:38 left, but you take the sack. Everybody's downfield. You want to get at least a 4th down solidly called here.
They have to get to just about the 40.
3-man rush, prevent mode secondary by Stanford.
Browning
can't run for it.
Now he is going to run for it. And Browning stays on his feet, now goes down. Taken down by Justin Reed. And the Stanford Cardinal are going to do it again.
Who made that tackle?
Justin Reed.
Think about that. Took a huge shot from Coleman in the corner.
They thought they were going to have to cart him
touchdown. Thought they were going to cart him off. I understand Jake Browning here, unbelievably competitive guy, but you just got to throw it up right here on 4th and 19. Give your guy a chance. Maybe it's PI. Maybe somebody makes a play. You feel for a guy again that's just a winner.
He is frustrated. A lot of frustration for Washington. This Stanford defense did nothing but get after them after the first quarter. They really put on a great performance.
Phenomenal victory for Stanford and crushing blow for Washington's title hopes, or playoff hopes for sure.
And a crushing blow as well for the Pac-12 for their college football playoff hopes.
Only the farm is smiling.
And that man as well, as he now ties Pop Warner for the all-time winningest Stanford coach.
Another guy.
Mike Bloomgren there with the embrace. That's got to feel good for those guys.
That is now 5 straight home wins against a top 10 team for the Stanford Cardinal as they upset number 9 Washington 30-22. Bryce Love, 30 carries on a bad ankle, 166 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Wow.
KJ Costello played with some confidence, but the story is Bryce Love and the Stanford defense and Friday night.
Tonight, he had the sign language. It was easy. Just hold the arms up. It's a touchdown. For Petros Papadakis, Mark Helfrich, Jen Hale, I'm Justin Kutcher saying so long from Stanford, California, where tonight, Pac-12 After Dark, we had the upset. The Cardinal beat number 9 Washington 30-22 here on the farm. So long, everybody. Enjoy a great Saturday of college football tomorrow.